Lesson 1-2, order of operations. Our objective today is to evaluate numerical and algebraic expressions using order of operations. It is also the Algebra 1 standard of 9.3. When we talk about order of operations, we must do so with PEMDAS. And please excuse my dear Aunt Sally was kind of the phrase that we always use to remember PEMDAS. And I make sure that I write PEMDAS in this fashion where it's written vertically so that you realize that at the bottom two steps how they actually work. So P, you always do the innermost parentheses first. You're going to get to the point where you have parentheses inside of parentheses. Always make sure you evaluate the innermost ones first. Then you go through and you do apply all the exponents. And then this step, MD, is multiply, divide from left to right. That means division is just as important as multiplication, and you must go through the problem from left to right and do whichever ones come up first. And then same way with add and subtract. You do those from left to right, and subtraction, if it comes first, then you should do that. So adding and subtracting from left to right would finish off the problem. So your job today will be to evaluate all of these things following PEMDAS. We need to kind of go down here. The first example, A, evaluate 48 divided by 2 cubed times 3 plus 5. So, who would like to do the first problem? Okay, Josh. Parentheses first, are there any? No. No. All right, exponent second, are there any?
Yes.
All right, so what am I going to write? Okay, so divided by 2 cubed, then you go ahead and do 8, and write the rest of the problem. Okay, so we've taken care of exponents. Now multiplied and divide from left to right.
It's going to be 6.
Okay, so you've got to do that division first, and you put in 6. Next.
That's going to be 18 plus 5.
Okay, and then finally 23. So all of those steps are required for your work. All of those steps are required for your work. Questions? All right, example B. Quantity 8 minus 3 times the quantity 3 plus 2. Ethan, what am I going to do?
First you're going to do the parentheses, so you do 8 minus 3, which is 5, and times 3, and then 3 plus 2 is 5.
Okay, so you can do those two parentheses in the same step or same row. All right, next.
Then you do 3 times 5, which is 15.
Okay, I'm thinking that you're going left to right, so you mean this 5 times 3.
Yes.
Honestly, it won't make a difference, but if there was something else there besides just all multiplication, it would. Okay, and then last.
12 times 15 is 75.
75 would be your final answer. All right, questions on that? Example C, 4 times the quantity, 12 divided by the quantity 6 minus 2, and that is all squared. Jared, what's going to happen first?
First you do 6 minus 2.
Okay, so you have to go ahead and write all this stuff out. And 6 minus 2 would be 4. Okay. What would be the next step then? Okay, so I'm going to go 4 times 3. And then, so 4 times 9. And your last step would be 36. I went ahead and brought those brackets all the way down. They're just another set of parentheses. Generally, you're going to see those when there's parentheses within parentheses, just so that you can distinguish between the sets. All right, now, D. 2 to the 5th minus 6 times 2, and that is all over 3 cubed minus 5 times 3 minus 2. When you do these, you must evaluate the top to one number, and then evaluate the bottom to one number, and then do your division last. Okay, so Ben, what would we do here?
You would take, exponents, so it's 32 minus 6 times 2, and then the bottom is, 27 minus 5 times 3 minus 2.
Okay,
And
next.
then 32 minus 12 the top. 27 minus 15 then 20 over
What's 27 minus 15?
27 minus 16 is 12. No, 20 over 10.
And then final answer? 20 divided by 10. 2. Final answer is 2. All right, questions about that? So make sure that you show all your steps. Just don't jump ahead. Do one thing a step at a time, and you'll be fine. Are there any questions about those 4? I need to scroll down a little bit to have room for the last one. Okay, so last but not least, we're going 2 times the quantity x squared minus y plus z squared. And it is telling you that x is 4, y is 3, and z is 2. So my tree, what would I do here? Plug the numbers in for the variables. So here we go. 2 and then 4 squared minus 3 plus 2 squared. Okay, so what's going to happen here? Inside parentheses first. I have to do the exponent in those parentheses first. Okay, and so, okay, 2 times 13. Those parentheses now mean multiplication, so now I'll go on to applying exponents, so that's 4. Next. $30. Okay. All right, so following PEMDAS, make sure you just write in each step as you go. Don't leave anything out, and evaluate for your final answer.